Thank you, Mike. And it's only fitting that Harry Caray plays host to Chicago's Big Ten team here on signing day. And Coach Fitzgerald, this class has been pretty well secured since the start of the fall season and this past 2015. What's your overall assessment of this class?
Well, it's a very close group. Like you said, 19 of the 20 were committed before their senior year, and now to have them all finally signed and a part of our family is exciting, and I know they're excited about it. The group is really close, and look forward to watching them mature and grow.
What was a point of emphasis in regards to filling certain positions or depth in position for this class, and how has that been filled?
Needed to add competitive depth at wide receiver. When you look at the three that we signed, and Ramad and Ben and Riley, all three of those guys, I believe, are going to have an opportunity to come in and compete to contribute pretty early. And then as I look to, the rest, add to our line of scrimmage depth. We ended up on the short end in 3 games. All 3 were because of our play up front, first and foremost. And, now as we look to the future, those big guys are going to really help us.
Late signee and Jeremy Larkin, describe what characteristics you like in him as an athlete and what dynamic he adds to the running game.
Perfect fit, very similar in skill set from what we look for on all of our backs. Plays in a similar offense in high school that we run, so that helps from the evaluation standpoint. Great with the ball in his hands, really good route runner, great catching the ball too, so that's a great fit for what we try to do with our back. And he's from a great family, very athletic family, and excited to have him, Jordan Thompson, who played for us last year as a true freshman from LaSalle in the championship level competition that they've played at now for a number of years, and Jeremy's been a big part of that.
Family has been thrown around a lot here at Harry Caray's on signing day. How important is the evaluation of the family when you look at these recruits?
It's become increasingly more a part of what we're looking at because, at the end of the day, I think there's more transparency, which is positive in this process. And I think parents have a lot more information than my mom and dad had. Some of it's good and some of it's bad. You've seen the proliferation now of a lot of fifth-year transfers. You've seen a lot more guys transfer in football. So we want to try to make sure we alleviate all those concerns with parents and educate them to the best of our ability as early as we can to start to build that bridge of trust and answer all the questions they may have and concerns to hopefully minimize, if not mitigate, that type of process once guys get into your program.
You're the second longest tenured coach in the Big Ten. Since you've been involved in the conference, what have been some other significant changes in recruiting?
Well, I think just the national scope of everyone. Back when I first got in the league 17 years ago, it just seemed like we were one of only a couple schools that were recruiting nationally because of our academic fit. We had to do that. Now it just seems like more and more guys are recruiting nationally, and it should be interesting to see as things progress. I think, BTN has helped us in particular get our brand out throughout the country, and Big Ten football is as strong as it's ever been. So it's exciting to see. It's competitive top to bottom. Everybody can win any given Saturday, and it should be exciting as we move to the future.
Coach, we understand this is a very eventful day, so congratulations and thanks so much for the time.
Thanks. Go Cats.
Mike, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Kara, thank you very much. Let's talk about some of these guys coming their way. There's an awful lot of talented players in the state of Ohio, but to be runner-up for Mr. Football, not just once, but twice, Howard, that's pretty good for Jeremy Larkin.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty good for him. When you think about what he's able to do, that's really going to help this program continue to build. And that's what he talked about. He talked about Fitz saying that this was a group that was together and really did a good job of really maintaining that. And that's what this is a special place when you talk about Northwestern and the way they recruit. They do it nationally, but Fitz knows who these guys are going to be early, because those are the type of guys he has out there.
And interesting, he says Larkin ran the same offense in high school that he does at Northwestern, and that's why he's a perfect fit. They got to evaluate him better, which I thought was really cool. I think he looks like Justin Jackson. Now, Fitz is probably not going to say that. Maybe I shouldn't say it either, but he does have a lot of similarities. He's very quick. He has great acceleration. And Howard, you talked about this. I think you did one of your features during the season about how Jackson waits until he's right at the line of scrimmage before he makes that cut because there's such a zone blocking scheme. So this Larkin guy, he is a really good player and a great get for Northwestern.
Coach, I think they've done a really good job of evaluating and developing quarterbacks at Northwestern over the last few years. Clayton Thorson has been the most recent example of that. Aiden Smith is a kid I'm extremely high on. I've had a chance to see him at many camps, 7-on-7s, as well as in games. He's a kid who's very consistent, accurate, but also you see here athletic enough to play in their system, which does rely on the quarterback being mobile. Aiden is a kid who also brings a lot of intangibles to the table. I think he was an outstanding pickup for them. And then he's going to be throwing to a guy he's quite familiar with in Ben Skoranek. He's from a different high school in Fort Wayne, but these two were on the AWP 7-on-7 team together, won some championships nationally as part of that program. They've done an outstanding job. Ben Skoranek is a kid who has size. He can go up and get the football, has outstanding ball skills, and I think because of his physicality and his frame, has a chance to play early in his career.
You know, Jesse Mueller is another guy. You talk about trying to control the line of scrimmage. You see him getting out, being able to run, getting that hat across, that he can make a play. It's important when you want to control the line of scrimmage. You see him walking his defender back as far as he can. He's going to finish the blockers, but like most young offensive linemen, they still have to continue to develop. You see he's a little high there, but because of his physical size at 6'5", 280 pounds, he's really able to control. But that's a good move right there when he drive blocks, getting his hands inside and really finishing. I think that's important.
I'll see your line of scrimmage and raise you a line of scrimmage with Gunnar Vogel, number 75, 6'6", 275 pounds, three-star guy. He is a guy who can get on a block, stay on a block. He's tough, great sustain. He reminds you again, much like Larkin, he just looks like what Northwestern's playing with in the offensive line right now. He's tough, he's got a great motor, he gets on the blocks, he sticks with it. They're doing a lot of zone blocking between the guards and the tackles. Vogel's a really good player, and he'll add to the depth immediately.
Roger Campbell is a guy that when he first committed there, I said, this is an elite type of player. And he's a guy, if you look in their secondary, has gotten more athletic. He fits right in, does a good job with his feet, his hands. He really, when he's playing man-to-man coverage, he does a good job. He's not grabbing receivers. You see him playing zone, sinking back there and high-pointing the ball. I think he's a guy that can really help them and really going to compete and adding to that depth in that secondary, because I think that's one of the areas when you talk about Northwestern, it's really, really improved, and he fits right in.